Stargazer is a 2019 Tartan 395 sailboat that we keep in the charter fleet with San Juan Sailing in Bellingham, Washington. Like many Tartan sailboats, Stargazer has an in-boom furling mainsail as well as a Solent rig, which is a two headsail configuration. In-boom furling has many advantages, but is also more complex to operate compared to traditional in-mast furling systems that many charter guests are accustomed to operating. We created this short video to educate charter guests with respect to the safe and reliable operation of the in-boom furling system for the mainsail, as well as the self-tacking jib. All charter guests are required to watch this video and ensure that they understand it before beginning their charter of Stargazer in the San Juan Islands. Let's begin with the steps to raise the mainsail. Raising the mainsail requires two people. Begin the process with the initial steps at the mast. First, you will retract the sail cover. This is done by standing just forward of the mast and looking aft, and grabbing the black sail cover lines on either side of the boom. Pull on the bottom of the lines to retract the sail cover. Once you have fully retracted the sail cover, be sure to retie the black lines to the cleats on the bottom of the boom so that they do not become entangled in any other lines. The head of the mainsail should already be pre-fed into the luff groove on the mast. If not, you will need to manually feed it into the groove to get it started. Next, you will verify that the halyard is securely attached to the head of the mainsail. Finally, verify that the ratchet pin is disengaged from the boom furler. The pin should be pulled out and rotated so that the metal circle sits in the recessed groove. Now you can return to the cockpit to continue the steps to raise the mainsail. Ensure that the boom vang is totally slack. Ensure that the topping lift is set at the mark with the black mark on the line just forward of the clutch. Next, you will turn to the main sheet. You must ensure that the main sheet is slack before you raise the mainsail. To do this, lay the sheet on the cockpit cushion. Open the main sheet clutch and check to ensure it is slack. This is a critical step as you don't want any tension on the main sheet when you raise the sail. Now, visually double check the gap between the boom and the bimini. You should see that the boom is located about 8 to 10 inches above the bimini. You can also see that the boom is angled upward slightly. Technically, this is supposed to be an 87-degree angle between the boom and the mast, but there is no way to directly measure this, so you must simply make a visual observation of such.
Next, you will begin by taking the main halyard and loading the line clockwise on the cabin top winch. A few wraps on the winch and over the stainless steel tang should be sufficient. You will then take the green boom furling line and flake it on the cushion so that it will flow freely through the clutch once you begin raising the mainsail. This is an important step to ensure that no tangles in the line become caught in the clutch. Now you may open the clutches for both the main halyard and the boom furling line. You are now ready to raise the mainsail, so the helmsman should use engine power to head the boat into the wind and hold this course for the duration of the time that it takes to raise the mainsail. We usually only have 2 people in the boat, so we place the helm in autopilot with the engine throttle slow ahead to maintain the boat's course straight into the wind. Begin raising the mainsail using slow speed only on the winch. Do not use a fast speed as it places too much strain on the rig and may cause damage. As the halyard is pulled up, the green furling line is being pulled out toward the mast. It's important to understand that the main halyard and the boom furling line work in opposition to each other. When one goes out, the other comes in.
It takes about 90 seconds to fully raise the mainsail using slow speed on the winch. If at any time a line appears to be binding or you hear the winch slow down, please stop. You must check all lines and the sail to ensure that nothing is stuck. The mainsail is fully raised when you see that the angled portion at the foot of the sail is in line with the bottom of the luff track. You will also see that there is a gap that exists under the foot of the main and the boom. This is normal and appropriate. Now that the mainsail is fully raised, you should close the clutches for both the main halyard and boom furling lines. You should remove the halyard from the winch and clean up all lines. Load the main sheet on the winch. We always use the starboard winch for the main sheet as we use the port side winch for the jib sheet. Once you have taken a couple wraps on the main sheet, the helmsperson can bear away. You may now begin sailing. Remember to leave the main sheet clutch open as you will be trimming the sheet later as you sail away.
Unfurling the self-tacking jib is fairly straightforward. While sailing close haul to the wind, place a couple of wraps of the jib sheet on the winch. Now open the jib sheet clutch as well as the jib furling line clutch. Flake out the jib furling line on the cushion so that it can run out easily. Using slow speed on the winch, begin sheeting in the jib sheet, and you will see that the furling line is being pulled out forward toward the drum at the bow of the boat. Once the wind catches the jib, it may completely unfurl by itself, or you may have to continue sheeting in. Once it is fully unfurled, you may close the clutch on the furling line, but you must keep the jib sheet clutch open as you will actively be sheeting the jib in and out as you continue to sail.
You will begin the process of furling the jib and the main in the reverse order of how you deployed the sails originally. Begin with the jib, and you will head into the wind to luff the jib and take pressure off the sail. Next, you will take the jib sheet off the winch and wrap the jib furling line onto the winch. Now open the clutches for both the jib furling line and the jib sheet. Using slow speed on the winch, begin furling the jib. Verify that both lines are moving correctly. As the winch is pulling in the jib furling line, you will see the sheet being pulled forward. As you continue to furl the jib should be neatly wrapping around its headstay.
Furling the mainsail is the most complicated part of operating Stargazer, but if you follow the pre-check routine, you should have no issues. Mainsail operations are always a two-person job. You must have one person in the cockpit and another standing at the mast. Start the engine, head the boat into the wind, place the boat in autopilot, and idle forward on the engine throttle.
Wrap the green boom furling line onto the cabin top winch. This is the line that will pull the main sail down and furl it into the boom. Now open the boom furling line clutch. Ensure that the topping lift is still set at the correct mark, with the black line located 1 inch forward of the clutch. Check boom vane tension and release any tension if needed. Double check that you are still heading directly into the wind and that mainsail is still luffing. Now open the main sheet clutch and remove the line from the winch. This is a critical step as you must release all tension on the main sheet before you begin furling the sail. At this point, the helmsman remains in the cockpit and a second crew member moves forward and stands by the mast for the entire duration of the furling process. In the cockpit, flake out the main halyard as it will need to run freely when you begin furling the main sail. Next, put one wrap of the main halyard on circular line snubber and pull to hold tension. It is critical to maintain moderate tension on the halyard at all times during this process. Do not allow the mainsail to fall. Remember that you are furling the sail, not dropping the sail. Holding tension on main halyard wrapped around snubber, open the main halyard clutch.
Now, press the slow speed winch control button with your left hand. At the same time as you winch in the furling line, allow the halyard to slowly slide through your right hand and around the line snubber. You must maintain back tension with your right hand on the halyard during this process. Do not let the line go or allow the halyard or sail to fall. The crew at the mast watches to ensure that the luff rope comes down straight and the mainsail rolls evenly onto the boom furler. It will take about 90 seconds to fully furl the mainsail under slow speed.
You should see a gap a few inches between the luff and the mast as the sail is being furled. If the luff begins walking forward or backward, he or she must yell to the cockpit to stop the winch. In this example you see here, the mainsail has walked forward and is touching the mast. To fix this error, the helmsman must first reverse the halyard and furling lines, and then re-raise the mainsail a few feet or until you have eliminated the overwrap error. Then reverse the halyard and furling lines once again and resume the process of furling the mainsail. As seen here, this is the correct way that the mainsail should roll onto the boom furler. Stop furling when you still have 12 to 18 inches of the head of the sail still in the luff groove. You don't want the head of the sail to fall out of the luff groove. You will also see that the green furling line will reach the end of its width just forward of the line clutches.
We hope that you have enjoyed this video and that you enjoy your time traveling with Stargazer around the San Juan Islands.
We'd also like to discuss one final aspect of mainsail operations. This concerns stabilizing Stargazer's boom while motoring through the San Juan Islands. Because the mainsail is furled inside the boom, there is a considerable amount of weight swinging back and forth. As you motor through the swells, the boom can swing violently back and forth. Many sailors try to remedy this problem by tightening the main sheet. This is not the correct response and may actually damage the rig. The main sheet can only pull downward on the boom. It cannot control the side-to-side movement of the boom. In order to minimize the side-to-side swing of the boom, you must create spring lines to port and starboard. There are many ways to do this, but our preferred method is as follows. 1. Use the traveler to move the boom all the way to starboard. 2. Create a spring line to port using the tail end of the traveler on that side. As you can see, the two travelers create spring lines that stabilize the boom and minimize the movement from side to side. This will reduce the amount of swinging back and forth on the boom as you motor through the islands. We thank you for watching this video. and hope that you enjoy your time cruising around the San Juan Islands aboard Stargazer.